My name is JT Lauritsen. I'm very happy to be here talking the blues with Marco from Toronto. And so let's see what we got.
So JT, it's been a while.
Yeah, you
Have you been
know,
busy?
I've been busy. Even uh, tough year for so many people.
Oh, for sure. But one thing I always remember is when we last spoke, which was 2010. We
Yep.
were we actually were taking the bus to the airport from the Katahdin Blues Festival, and I think you told me at that time that you weren't a full time musician; that you worked full time.
I did work and I did have a daytime job. In Norway we can't play weekdays. We only play weekends. We do not do we can do like a events, but we do not play Monday to Thursday. It's no option. It's no place that they don't have live music in Norway. In the 90s, when I used to play with another famous guy in Norway, we always play the whole week. It was support by the government. We have support money to travel play for the school, uh, other communities and things like that. But now it's not that anymore. It's kind of very hard to survive be a musician in Norway. That's a big difference between 2010 and now. But I think I still was just into that thing. I need to have another work, and I was working in the railway in Norway for almost 40 years. So
Wow.
I have a license that I do. I don't know what they call it in the United States or Canada. They call it in German. They call it the Wagenmeister. You're the control of all the cars. You're the one that check up on the cars when the trains leave the station, even if a freight train or it's a personal, train to go in direction from Toronto to Los Angeles, whatever. I guess it doesn't go that way, but it's like I've been a train man for the whole life. So train man for me is like a blues man, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Um. So I'm going to ask you a little bit about your trains as
Yeah.
well. How
Yeah.
how did you get into trains? Like, did you have a love for trains?
I do. My dad was working in the railway, so he come by the family. But it's like he was the one introduced me to. He told me if you go start here when you're 16 years old, going out of the secondary school, you can do good. They pay for your education. They will. So I mean, I had like a 3 years education time. They pay me good, and then I was on. Then you were on your own, and then you did good. You make money and you're happy, and you can still do your favorite hobby. I still have my music hobby since I was 16. But I'm telling you, I was not doing my music thing before I was like a 22. So I think that was in 89, 90. And then I started doing the blues because I was in the military on 87, 88. I did start playing harp early, and harp after organ was my thing since I was six years old. But when I get to the military, I met a lot of American. So every time they come to the base, because I work in the Air Force, it's like a lot of people come, and for some reason, I fell in love with all those people, and they got all the music. Well, what the music they bring? Blues, easy. Blues, soul, and rock and roll. And I listened to all this country blues and soul since I was 6 years old. And when they was there near me, I was asking them. So I asked them for advice. How can I do play my harmonica? And some of the guys really was good at harmonica, and he didn't teach me, but he guided me to say, you just need to know how you suck your harmonica. You don't need to blow it. It's like when you play harp, all the harp players they actually don't blow that much. They suck it. So it's like when they know that, and they just changed the whole world how to play harmonica. And then I started playing harmonica, and then I still come on, did still play my B3. B3 was the thing I did since I was 15 years old. My dad bought me a B3 when I was 15 years old. Who fucking do that?
But he started playing the organ at 6. When you were
I
playing at
play.
6, what were you
Yeah,
playing?
the organ I play was a Magnus organ. It's like an electronic organ. It's like an American air blown organ that everyone had in 1976, 75, whatever.
Right.
The green, red, and the yellow. This is small plastic organ. Everyone had that at that time, and then it came the regular organ like a Hammond. Hammond come into the house, having different sizes, different models, and that was the same happened in Northern. Then the techniques come up, Yamaha. It's a lot of brands came into the world. Everyone played organ. Organ is like a. It's not about the church organ, but it's like everyone should go to the school. You play piano or you play the organ.
Hmm.
I went to the school 6 years old, um, and my dad said you don't go because what the reason for he wanted to go teaching is like everything comes out of the radio. I played on my Magnus organ. Magnus organ was the real deal. I don't know where it made, but it's like he said, you need to go teaching yourself play better. So a good thing from my dad that I did. I went to the school, but I never learned a lesson. So I play for free because I don't know. I just want to improvise and play what I hear on the speaker. That's all.
But you were able to do that very easily.
I still do it.
So, okay, so at one point or another, you get into music and you start playing. You said at 22 you were getting more seriously into
Yeah,
music. But at that
absolutely.
point, are you thinking that there's no way that you could do this full time in
I
Norway?
I was from I was 22. I didn't think that was be I didn't think that that will be a day that I felt that this is going to be my life. I felt this is going to be one of my future thing to do more than work in the railway because the railways support me in the military service too. So that's the thing. If you work for the government in Norway, you still get money extra compared to the people who's in Norway. We have a law that say that if you 18 years old, 20 years old, you need to go to the serve in the military for 12 months or 50 months. If I do my 50 months in military, I still get my money from my job, my railway company, because that's states own. And states own in Norway is not like the states in states or in Canada because the states is Norway, the whole thing.
Right.
So I get support money from the government. So I did the service, and I really liked the service because I grew up a little bit, and I suddenly when I get back from my service, I moved out of my house. I didn't want to stay there.
Tell me what that meant. Like to be in the Norwegian army. What was your function? What kind of things
But
did you do?
I work at the ground equipment. I work for transporting the F-16 Norwegian aircraft at that time. Today we have F-35, and all the American flights came in from yeah, like a U.S. Nimitz was very known air like
Aircraft
the
carrier.
yeah, and those guys was in Norway at that time. I was in the military, and everyone had the F-14, F-15 coming into the base, and we had to carry them into the shelter, and that was my job. I work with all this ground equipment people, so then I get known with a lot of American people, and so it's for me start to get known with the blues music. Actually, start more there than before. Strange, but it's true.
So you've been working around machines, like
Yep.
high-end machines like air jet planes and
Yes.
trains all your life.
And I even had a backseat trip that I don't want to throw it. I was throwing up much as you can. When you're sitting in the back seat of a aircraft like that, and you think you're good. I was doing a doctor test, everything, and it was a tough guy from one of those guys in the U.S. Marines. He said, "Come on, I think I know a pilot that maybe bring you up because they can do it because Norway is all about insurance. if you're going to bring someone that you exactly don't belong to that what do you call it, department, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So then someone need to cover the insurance if that flight
Something happens.
aircraft going to crash, right? So when that passing through, I went to the doctor, the military doctor that gave me that passing to go up in the air and get me a G suit so I can sit in the aircraft. And I was there for like 2 hours, and it felt good until the last 1 minute. You know what I did? Those two
Well,
pilots, I was flying, and one on the wing, he had one on the wing. So he said, I don't know if I take wrong, but the guy said, Jeff, we're going to do a rolling. And roll that they do all the time, but they roll upside down. It's like you
yeah.
put your flight down and you climb up and you look up. So they look down and then look up, and then it's like, and they say they couldn't wait to ask JJ how you feel. I couldn't tell anything because I was just about to throw up. So it's like we are not born to be in an aircraft like that. That's what I'm saying. But I mean, I remember it like it was yesterday. So I'm telling you, it was a good experience.
Well, the G-force must have been
Yeah,
insane.
it was insane. We took off, and that power to everyone sitting in an aircraft that you go all over the world, right? Which is huge. It's amazing. But that little small aircraft going, I have no idea how many knots they're going in a few seconds, but they're going like half away off the line, and then it off up in the air, and that the heavy weight that you feel that
Yeah.
is having. So it's definitely not about the blues, but it's kind of little blues too. it's,
So
it's 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 amazing. That's what I can tell you.
I can imagine. So your love of music and blues grew because of this connection, and you decided that you wanted to start playing. I guess you did some gigs when you were younger.
I did a lot of gigs. First gig I did was I was 14 years old. Old guy from my neighborhood come up to my dad and said that there was an accordion player on the community place, and he was too drunk to play, so they had to drive him home. And they know about me and my talent for playing, and I was 14 years old, and they asked, "Is it possible to bring JT come down and play music for us so we can dance?" I said, I said, my dad said, well, I had to ask him. And I said, I'd love to do it. So it was a Saturday night, and my dad plays that little beat. No, it's not the beat tree. It was a transportable Italian organ that we had in the house that time, and we get it in a car and a truck and down to the place like 10 minutes from the house, and rig it up. I start playing with my drum machine and playing Spanish Eyes and all these classic songs, and the people dancing and people were happy. And I was given I can't stop remember that because in Norwegian kroners it's like $80 for doing that gig. $80 when I was 14 years old, that was a lot of money. And the guy said I just talked to this guy this afternoon. He still his hair and he's almost 90 years old. And I said to him, how are you doing? And he said, fine, it's good to see you. And I was thinking he's not good. I see he's kind of stumbling, walking. But I'm thinking he was the one that actually introduced me to the world I was doing, what I'm doing today, that I've become a player.
Wow. So you must have loved that experience.
Can never forget it. And it was so good to see that people love it. And when I get to the payment after the gig, I was shocked because I didn't know that people pay me for playing the music I love. I mean, I play all the songs I know in my head. I didn't have a charge and anything. I just play songs because I love play. I do that for like 2 hours. I felt I do it for free, and someone give me money for doing it. And then you understand. For that point, I can't remember anything because that point it start. and then everything about the payment is like different skills. And but I can't forget that first one.
Did you sing at that point?
No, I didn't sing that. I didn't sing at all that point. I was 14 years old, but I started singing that point. And the same year, I went to a singing competition in my next community, and it didn't went well. It was actually pretty okay for a lot of people, but it's like my closest friend, he said, JT, is good to see you when when you're playing, but singing, mm-mm. And then he kind of fucked me up. It's like, I said, I know I can sing, but it's like I need to take my time. So when I sing, I feel today I just sing more than I play. So
Okay, so when you have that experience, how did you? I mean, did you love singing?
I love singing. I did love singing that time too, but it's like he didn't stop me for doing what I loved doing. So he just kind of motivate me to sing more. Because and today I know that I can advise everyone that they love singing. Don't stop singing. Do it more. Experience and singing is like I need to mention because 2 weeks ago I had Mike Farris from Nashville here. Me and Mike Farris know each other since 2012, but never ever be played able to play together since now. And he played with my band. We toured on my cruise. I have a cruise I run in Norway and in Svalbard, which is island north of Norway. And he said he's maybe one of the greatest singers in the fucking whole world. He's amazing. And he
Hmm.
told me, JT, you sing. When you talk, you got the accent, but when you sing, you sing. I said, simple like that. I sing in a song. And we had so much fun about that. And that's what I'm thinking about when I was a kid. I'm singing a song, and it doesn't matter what song you're singing. If you love to sing, keep on doing what you're doing. Simple like that. Can't stop doing. I mean, I know it's like a problem for people who got the problem with tune and everything. Uh, that's a thing about being a musician. If you don't get singing in tune, then you have a problem with your ear, and that then I can't advise you about that.
How do you lose your accent when you sing?
So when I'm singing a song. It's a singing a song. It's like you have the lyrics, you have the song, and I'm not American, I'm not a Canadian, I'm not a German. So it's simple like that. If I sing a song, if it's English, I sing an English song, and the way how I phrase is probably more American than its other language. Because my is all about my inspiration. All the people who motivate me to sing, like Curtis Algado, been my friend for 5 years now. He's kind of my mentor, and that's why he invited me to sing with him on his last album. And I think he understand I got that thing, but I'm still growing. I just want to do what I feel is right for me. So I don't get actually a good answer on that. But I think it's you need to believe what you're doing, and if you do it, you get advice under your take time. You don't be a great singer in 1 year. You take a while. You need to sing and sing and sing and sing. And I play my B tree. I didn't play my B tree on actually the last year. I played more B tree than I did for 15 years. And people saying because I need to tell you, Mike Finnegan from Phantom Blues Band, he was one of my mentor and great friend for years since I met him in 2006. When he passed away last year, he gave me a message when he was in the hospital. He gave me a message. He said, JT, keep on doing what you're doing. I didn't have no clue that he had a cancer, that he going to pass away. And I get a song from Larry Fulcher, his bass player, that I will record for my album number 10 that's going to come up next year. And that's what I'm saying. I'm just a lucky guy from Norway that can do all this musician singing with all the friends from all over the world. And Yep, I feel very privileged doing what I'm doing.
I think it speaks volume that somebody like Curtis Salgado, who is one of the greatest singers,
Absolutely.
has you singing with him, which is pretty amazing. And then same thing with Mike Finnegan. Like it's we're talking a level that's pretty high.
Let me tell you a story about Mike Finnegan. The first time I met him, he was on a blues cruise in 2006. He was sitting playing organ, his Hammond B3 that I love playing, with Tommy Castro on the legendary blues cruise, and uh, and he know what I did. He know a little bit about me, and Terry Hank that I still work with today, and he gonna come to Norway next month. He was there. He jumped on a stage with Tommy's horn section, and I was there invited by Roger Neighbor to come there in 2006 to the first Pacific cruise. I went on this. I went on a cruise. I didn't know what to expect because I was working for the Blues Cruise in Norway that I run since 2001. So 2006, I started to explore to get people back to Norway, and I just had the first the 2006 cruise with the first time I had T-birds on. So Kim Wilson and me was sitting in my cabin 2 weeks before, and I said, I'm gonna go, I'm gonna go to California in 2 weeks, and I'm gonna see you on the cruise. I say, hey, that's fine. And everyone was there. Kid Ramos, my friend Kid Anderson, that played with my band since until like 2001. He moved to United States. Now he's married to Lisa, and they're doing great with Greaseland and all. There's a lot of history here. But the thing is, when I went there, standing on the side of the stage, and Mike Finnegan called me up. Come on, JT, come up, sing a song with us. There was a pro jam at that legendary blues cruise, and Tommy actually he said he didn't know about me, so I jump on the stage and they start playing that song. I don't actually don't remember, but I think it was a shuffle, but because Mike Finnegan always liked to sing a shuffle
Mhm.
in C. Who else singing in C? That's we're talking a tenor singing, right? So everyone playing A, G, or D, E, but to sing in C, you need a little level to sing high, and I did sing high because I'm a tenor singer, and I did that, and it went good. People was happy, make people happy, and people smile, and Mike came up to me and said, "JT, I love you." And since then, 2006, we were become friends, and he always support me. And when he was in Europe, play with Joe Cocker, Bonnie Raitt, whatever he played with, he always invite me backstage with my wife, so we have the time to talk. So, and he is a great singer, and that was the thing that Russian neighbor said. We were sitting there in the introduction for the cruise, and we got Mike Finnegan, he's a great singer and a keyboard player. Keyboard player? He's a Hammond B3 player, if you
Yeah.
ask me. And when I get known him, I will understand. Wow, what a level of a man! I didn't know about him before that, and then I know his history and everything after that. But become a friend, and we talked to the last end before he passed away, and I'm sorry, so sorry for. But I was very glad. I was on the blues cruise last November. Uh, I was also invited by the Phantom Bluesmen to come up and play with them. So I did do that, and we had a great tribute to Mike on that cruise. Well, very nice.
Tell me about how how a little kid from Norway makes his reputation and works with all these people. Is it something that were you driven to be making contact with these people? Did you think that was there a bigger plan that said, for me to establish myself, I need to work with these people?
You know what? But I need to tell you, when I talked to you 10 years ago, I didn't have that in mind. Something happened the last 10 years. Everyone that start working with me, they still want to work with me, and I think we're doing good. We just My goal is if I can treat people in the way I want to be treated when I'm on the gig. With my band, it felt to me today this is the right thing to do. People are happy. They feel you've been taken care of. You don't need to think. You didn't need to spend money. You make money and all those things that important to be on a tour. Because I mean, if you're on a tour, you invite people, right? You take them, you get them cabin, hotel, whatever, and you get them to the gigs. You get a sound check, line check, whatever, and they play the gigs. It's all about treat them good. They give a lot of good music back to you. That's what the people pay for. So I had a goal in my mind since I started doing producing in 2001, and combination of doing producing music, the cruise I doing for 20 years, and I even be able to work with a special place, Svalbard is an island, and they had the Dark Season Blues Festival. Combine people coming on my cruise, they'll go to Svalbard. I have so many good feedback from all the artists who've been in Norway. And I didn't have the list in front of me, but I'm telling you, so many people from the United States been here doing all the things, and they do my cruise. They did Svalbard, and everyone say wait, going on a cruise is kind of similar to United cruise, but it's still a different. But they come to Svalbard, and the local blues club between, they felt everything makes sense, and then they come to Svalbard, and then they go home and said, "Wow, what an experience!" And that's what I'm living on. That's what I'm living for.
Okay, so how did the blues cruise and your connection to it happen? I mean, was this you thinking,
I
business like?
I,
This would be a good idea to bring
yeah,
American or international artists to
I
Norway?
did I did ask the cruise line to have a meeting. I said I'm connection with a lot of people from around the world, and I want to introduce you for Norwegian artists and international artists. Can we make it a try? And they invite me to have a meeting. And the first year we did it, 2001, they set up a budget that they could keep. They can pay me for a budget for 400 people. So what happened? It came 780 people on the first cruise.
Wow.
So we doubled that on the first cruise, and the next cruise it was 1,000 people, and that was the maximum we could had on that cruise. That cruise line that time who was going between Oslo and Denmark, and then they after like a 3 4 month or whatever it is, 1 year maybe, and they asked me, can we do it twice in a year? And I said no. If you do it twice in a year, you conquer yourself. Don't do that. But you can do Friday, Saturday. You can do Saturday and because that was like a 24-hour cruise. So what we did the 24-hour cruise Friday to Saturday, Saturday to Sunday. And all my crew went on the ship on Wednesday to get the rig up, the PA system, the backline, everything. So it was a start. That was a start until 2006, and we had a lot of artists on that 2006 list that never 2007. I mean that never came on because they sold the ship and they reorganized. And then I was doing cruises on two other ships from South Norway to Bergen in the west. And then 2008 they asked me doing a cruise on the German ship that doing Oslo and Kiel. And we start doing that 12 years ago from now, and now 14 years from now, and it's been a big success.
Where's the audience come from? Is it mainly from Norway, from Germany?
Mainly from Norway, but we just talked about it yesterday. We've been and having a meeting, evaluation meeting from the last cruise, and we evaluate the cruise, and they said the people from Netherlands, Germany, and of course England, always England people coming, some few, and then we're from all over Norway. It's not only Oslo because we are located in Oslo. So yeah, it was pretty good. It was very good, and after even 20 years doing it, it was sail record on the ship. So I mean, how can they do it after 20 years? But they still, I think the pandemic have a little thing, yeah, because people are hungry about music, live music. So
Right.
they pay for it and they got it back. Yeah,
So are you not doing 2 cruises a year now?
we do two cruise now. We do this October. Next cruise will be in April. So it's the same thing. We're doing on Oslo to Kiel, but the spring cruise is mainly Norwegian cruise. Uh, this year, because of another festival in Norway, we also will have Nick Moss coming with Dennis Grunling. So Nick Moss been my friend for years. He been here 2-3 times before, and then we have Norwegian band playing on that cruise. That's the kind of the thing is that we want to have representing Norwegian or Scandinavian blues artists on the spring cruise, and then we are international because of the connection and working with Svalbard in October.
Let's go back a little bit. You started off playing the organ.
Yep,
You went to the B3, and
yep,
at one point or another, you decided to kind of ditch the B3 and go the accordion,
that's right.
which is also ironic now that I hear the story that your first gig happened because the accordion player bailed out. And
Yeah,
then you
that's
really wound up playing your organ, which is kind of neat. But anyway, tell me about that transition between B3 and the accordion.
it. I think that I was in Notodden, 1988, and I had the B3 home. I went to the gig and it was I was just like all the young people get to the festival. The festival started in '87. It was '88, I think, and I went to the festival and there was a guy that said, "Jet, you need to come to the jam tomorrow," because they already knew about me. I was young, but it's like you're like a 22 years old, and they said, "Come on, go there. There's a jam, and we want you to play with us." So I was thinking I can do it, and I went there, and there was no B3, but I saw some guy had an accordion in that room. So I was thinking, okay, if I have the accordion, I can at least play something. So I did play. I did play a couple of songs. I did. It was not that much. I played like a 3-4 songs on the jam, and people get crazy. And
Wait a sec, but have you played the accordion at all before?
no, I never. So I
So
like
how do you just
they, yeah, because that's a funny thing because I had all these people in the house 2 weeks ago. Last week actually, I had Mike Cito in the house, Albert Castilla, and Mike Ferris, my Albert Cummings. Everyone went to my cruise. We sat down in my room. I always treat people on the Monday between the cruise and everything with my cooking. And I made them good food, and we sit there, play guitar, and have fun. And they understand they tried to understand how to play the accordion because I put even an accordion on Albert Castilla. Albert Castilla, how the fuck can you play that thing? So it's good to have even a good guitar player understand it's hard to play accordion. So whatever. So I did that first show, and I did play. I did play my show right, and people was happy, and I was thinking, wow, it was exciting, and I was thinking to have an accordion playing instead of the beater that's so heavy, that cool. So what more did it need? I was thinking I can do that on some of the gigs, right? So I did left of B3 for a while. So I just next year I had my own accordion on that festival, and I went to there, and there were there was a guy called Rock Bottom, Silver King Band, Barracuda, the guy from Florida that was playing, Diamond Teeth Mary. Yeah, it was good. And when '89, and ever since then I had my own accordion, but I didn't play more than I also played my B3. But in '95, when I did my first album, I did play mostly on the accordion. But now I get older, so then I don't want to stand upright. I want to sit down on a B3 and play organ and sing a song.
well, I can imagine the accordion. I know it's not as heavy as carrying your B3 and your Leslie cabinet up and down the stairs, but accordions are pretty heavy as well, and they're pretty difficult
Telling
to
you, it's
work,
like
right? I mean,
it was easy for me to tell you when I was a young guy. Just playing that accordion was the easy thing, and it's still. But you get older and your back and your knees and everything come to you. I'm 55 now, but it's like I still got the good health and I feel good. But as I'm telling you, if I can sit down on a B3, I feel more home. This is what I learned when I was a kid. If I played the B3 and I sing a song, it felt more right today. But I still do accordion because a lot of songs have that meaning with playing my accordion.
as you were growing up and trying to establish your name, how important was it for you to go to the States?
I have no idea when I went there first time in '91. I went to Los Angeles. Uh, One of my best B-true player to play in the whole Europe is Paul Wangberg that I play with for years. He been a lot of my album. We went there because we know friends like a Ford Blues band, Mark Ford, Robin Ford, and all these guys. We went to LA, rent a car, first time ever been there, young. We're driving all the way from LA to San Jose, and we knew friends that been in Norway, that the Ford Blues band, the Charlotte Ford Blues band, been in Norway, and we know these guys from the band like Chris Kane. Uh, a lot of the Bay Area people was there. San Jose had a big hit about that JJ's Blues Bar in Stevens Creek, San Jose. And for some reason that time we didn't have a cell phone, we didn't have a map on the phone, so I was printing like a 10 sheets of paper to go all the way from LA on the Highway 1, Big Sur, Santa Fe. You get into San Jose. You know what? This is true. Believe me or not. We was going through there, everything, and we going into San Jose, and we parked the car, and we tried to look up all the paper. You know where we're parking?
Right in front of the club.
Backside of the club and JJ's in San Jose, Stevens Creek. And we didn't have no fucking clue. We went in there. It was Andy Just that used to play with Ford Bluesman on the stage, and Chris Kane coming after. Everyone was like, "Wow, you're here!" And we had no fucking idea how we can get there in that time. I think someone helped us from over there. But I'm telling you, that was an experience I never forget. That was in 1991. So the first tour went with me and my B3 player that played with my band for so many times, and we record a lot of albums. And he still do play with me sometimes when I don't. This is all about the money. Sometimes you can bring people on stage and you can concentrate, do what you're doing. So but we did that. That was the first time, and after that, I went to States to make some connection, of course. But the really connection start in 2001, 2002, when I Kid Anderson played with my band before we left Norway and start playing with Tara Hank in the United States in 2002, 2003. He was young, 17 years old, get 20, 19 years old, and we moved out, and he was playing with Terry Hank for a while, and then he started playing with Charles Musselwhite, and then he started today, that he played with today, Rick Estrin, and fell in love with Lisa, get married, and now he do run the Graceland, good. And everyone that the people are talking to now, they've been recording his album in his recording studio that he has in his whole house. They got a
Hmm.
piano in the kitchen, they got a beach in another living room, and whatever. But I'm telling you, I'm going there in 2 weeks. I've never been there, but we have a day that on November 26th, I will be in Greeceland.
Nice. To record something.
We never know what's going to happen. We'll see.
But
And
you've
you never
recorded a
know who you're
lot.
going to play with. I mean, I would bring my bass player, and I talked to Kid because he have a big party on the 19th, which is next weekend. with a lot of all this great like Chris Kane and all the people. But I come in a week too late for that. But I told him, "Can we do something?" I said, "We are here. So let's see. It's not gonna happen. We're gonna do it anyway. So we'll find a way. Me and my bass player, we got something to do. We have a little plan. So
And this is certainly not the first time you've recorded in the States. Why is it important to be in the States and record in Memphis or in Baltimore or wherever?
I did do one record in United States before that, was 2007. I did in Maryland at the Severn Studio, and I did record the second time in United States in 2013. I did do for my song from the album called "Play by the Rules." I was there in at the BMA. I did in 2012. We was there, and me and John, my drummer, talk about there's so many good friends in the house. We was there for BMA, and I did for some reason because we had a connection with Billy Gibson. So we asked Arden Studio, "Hey, is it available time on that Saturday, May 12th, 2012?" Yeah, it is. The big room was available. We get to the Winters drums, get some drum set up. We get William C. Chappell on the bass. We got Leo Goff. We got Greg Gumpel. We got uh, Billy Gibson, of course, and Reba Russell, Victor Wainwright. Not very important because he was in the studio all the time. Greg Gumpel, yeah, and those guys really kick it up. And we got uh, maybe one of the best guitar player in the world, Josh Roberts, play with us at that song called "Play by the Rules." And we did record all the songs, 5 songs in one like a afternoon. And then we felt you're halfway to the next, and we did that with the rest of my friends in Norway with my band, and so after doing like a non-album, we do that like 2 of them halfway in States, and now I was there in May after BMA, and Curtis Salgado asked me, "I want to join you when you go into the Rock House in Nashville." Because he know the same guys, because he did that too on that album that I was singing with him. Uh, and I said, "Hey, you're welcome to be in my car talking bullshit on the way." We didn't talk about one song, but he was very excited about me singing a song from Gary Nicholson, who just get introduced in the Country Hall of Fame with
Hmm.
his amazing songwriting reputation. And he gave me first he gave me like a 16 songs, and I think I got a 25 songs. And who from Norway get 25 songs from songwriter like Gary Nicholson? So
So how does that happen?
I asked him first. I said, I know Gary for since 2011, since I first went on the Delbert cruise, and Delbert invited me in 2005 to go on his cruise. He have a Sandy Beaches cruise from Florida out of Caribbean, and what happened is I uh, I went on the cruise. I met Mike Zito, 2020. And 2010, Mike Zito, I invited him here just in this room, my studio. And Mike Zito living here for like 2 months, singing his song with all his heart from the Norwegian people. And 2012, he came back with a Royal Southern Neighborhood, and with Al, all these great people. But he came back as Mike Zito, and that's why people like Mike Zito is a good guy in Norway now. But I'm saying from that point, Gary and me, we didn't hooked up, but we was talking. We was I was singing there and there, and he said, "JT, you got a great voice," and I was saying, "I'm thank you for that and all that shit." But it's like when I asked him last year, "Gary, you got some songs for me because I'm going to BMA, and me and Kevin was planning here. Maybe I can come by the Rock House studio in Franklin to record something." You got some music for me? Hell yeah. And then, woo, and it's an email. He got songs never recorded, like his guitar and his voice. I'm so happy because we have so much material to work with, and why I like it is because he get great stories to tell. And
Hmm.
some of the songs I really put my heart in. I worked the whole summer since 2009, since May 7th, that we record all the songs. We got Jack Bruno on the drum, playing 28 years with Tina Turner. You got James Pennebaker play with Delbert since 1975, whatever. And Michael Joyce that played with Delbert the last 10 years or more than that. We got, all these people. Kevin that played with Delbert almost decade. And he's so great. And everything went so smooth. Uh, I went in the studio May 7, 10 o'clock in the morning. 11, we start recording. 5 o'clock, we got 5 songs on the track.
Wow.
That's a half album if you think about that. And everything, even today when I sitting in my studio and do working on a vocal, it's like this is how it sounds. It sounds like that. It doesn't. You don't need to mix it. It sounds good. So I'm very looking forward to present it for the people around the world when I get it ready next year, because next year this will be part of the album number 10 since 1995.
At what point did you become not a businessman, but very aware of the business of music?
Oh, I think that comes with producing. Producing a cruise, you need to find a way to don't suffer yourself down to lose money on your behalf, the guy you are, because cruise line I work for, they pay the expenses. But after 5 years, I didn't ever actually ask for money. And I did believe that if this is going right, I will make money. And that was my goal. And it was right. Today, I'm not the guy that's thinking about making too much. I love to make money when I play in my gigs and do my show, but I don't think I need to think more of that today. I was honest to myself. If you can manage doing this, it give you a lesson for life. Now today is a routine. You make a baby working good for you, and you make money, and it's all about that. You don't get rich in this world playing the blues. If you play country music, all of the guys I know, they make a lot of money more than I do. I just played on a. I don't know if you know, but in Norway we have a very special thing called a fermented trout.
No.
Fermented trout is thing with very Norwegian traditional fish that we do every Christmas special. So I played on a festival last weekend, 20,000 people. And they asked me to come play. I said I wanted to go play, but I do. And they asked me how much you want to. It's all about money, right? And I said I like to have money for playing, right? But I don't want to be greedy. I don't never be greedy. I just ask for money, right, for my guys. I don't want to. I just want to play and pay my guys right. If you pay your guys right, that's why I keep my same people for 28 years. Never argue about money.
Do you think, I mean, does part of that come from the fact that you have a full-time job, that you're not a full-time musician just
Yes,
relying on
yes,
life? It's
yes. Of course, I still get my money from my work. I don't need to take all the money, and I do still. Sometimes I didn't take money, and I pay my guys because I got money every month anyway. I have a big heart. Be able to play my guys. So yes, that's right. I feel more today that we get paid right. We work for almost 30 years, and we get paid right, and people happy, and people still get shocked as who are you? Where you been? So Norway is small, but it's still big.
okay, but you also play outside of Norway.
Yeah, I do.
Is that a difficult thing to get out of Norway to play at other European
It's been
countries?
difficult. Tomorrow morning we leave here. It's November 9th today. Tomorrow we go to Düsseldorf. We go play in Cologne, and then we go to Bremerhaven in Bremen, and then we go to Copenhagen on Saturday. So it's like to play all these different countries. It's been a challenge. It's been tough and really a little strange thing to do. So today is regular thing. I play in France. I play in Italy. I play in Spain. I play in Switzerland. Switzerland may be one of the best country playing because they. I think some for some reason it's not because I play there so much. It's they are very good to treat people and they know how to treat people good to bring them back. So I don't. My favorite place, Switzerland, is one of them. But all is good. Italy too. Italy. I play with my good friend Egidio Ingala from Italy. He's great harmonica player, and he bring me there a couple of times. In Spain, we have Victor Petas, fantastic harmonica player from Spain, Barcelona. I've been a couple of times, and he's amazing. His band is one of the best. So there's a lot of great band in Europe that they bring me to play with them, sing with them, and that's a new thing I never been dreaming of. So yeah, it's a good life I'm living. I just happy that people invite me.
My final question at this point in your career, do you have goals?
I that I come to my age now, 55. It's all about your family and my daughter and my son. I got a daughter. She's turning 30 next year, and we got a son, 35. We got a grandson. So my goal is to, of course, be together with them more than I travel all the world all the time. But my goal too is make one of my best record in my album number 10.
With the
Night,
Gary Nicholson songs.
yeah. So yeah, it been Gary Nicholson songs, but also some of my songs that will be happen next year in 2023. So I'm just looking forward to that, and I'm so happy that Gary gave me the opportunity to do it because I think a lot of people's writing songs they don't understand. They understand, but it's hard to write songs that had this uh, great stories that Gary give you. He's a songwriter from really another world. He really got the thing that I love really much, very very much.
No, he's one of the best.
He's one of the best, absolutely.
Yeah. JT, thank you so much for taking this time. I really
Yeah,
appreciate it.
he was fun talking to you.
All right. You take care.
Okay, you too.